everyone, Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream, glad you could make it today. So, last time we made it through the first half of the first day of the trial in Rise from the Ashes. Barely. So now the police are off to get that additional evidence that I really hope is gonna help us. Hello, Drag. How are you doing? Let's get back into the trial. And hello, Carl. How are you doing? February 23rd, 11:58 AM. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Snow but no snow anymore. Yeah, that's how it is here too. And there's a little bit of snow hanging around, but not a lot. And not nearly as much as the weather promised me I was getting. Boo. I want a decent amount of snow. The trials always like this with you? Yes! Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? I had to be up at 2 AM to see all the snow. Yeah, that makes sense. It was definitely snowing at 1 AM. But I wasn't up much longer than that. Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So, what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Hopefully! Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I think there's something wrapped in the cloth, if I remember rightly. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner! What are you doing here? They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there, anyway? All the police I've seen in these last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's chased in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. Well, actually, Emma. I think you'll find that the piece of fabric stuffed in the muffler is a muffler. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now don't that just be it all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler. Yes, mufflerception indeed, Track. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth's seen it too, I'd reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. Yeah, because she'd already shoved it in the exhaust. So, Miss Star wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. I can't tell if he's trying to help us or unhelp us. I have a bad feeling about this. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee. No. That's gross, Marshall. February 23rd, 12:32 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. I'd like to resume? What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Oh! Yeah, it's Edgeworth. Hello, Card. How you doing? Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused, you're doubled over and your back is bent. It sounds like Edgeworth is very unwell. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. That was very fast, Edgeworth. What did I miss? No, it's just Edgeworth going, this is unacceptable. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me. Knock knock. Who's there? Oh, that was the wrong voice. Excuse me. Knock knock. There we go, something like that. What's with this guy? Strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. What is with that cross-shaped tie? Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you. The cross-shaped tie looks like a villain out of a superhero movie. Yeah, maybe. Oh! Sorry I'm late, RG! The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, RG? How you been? Swim much these days? Ah, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy, schmizzy, RG, my boy! You have to make time to relax. Yes. Reggie seems to be his nickname for the judge. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Ah, so you're Wright, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks? So sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Well, I guess his favourite pastime is swimming, then. Little worthy? Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police? No, we haven't met. Chief of police? He is the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Name's Gant. Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Judge, do you mean courtroom number 9 or the entire courthouse? Or any courtroom that you've been presiding over? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So, Miss Starr wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. Wait, did I miss a line? Because, wait a second. Is there a way for me to actually... I don't think there is a way for me to look at lines I might have missed, is there? But that thing says SL9 on it, doesn't it? What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Hey, look! Another knife. That is, in fact, what I remembered being inside the muffler. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? I mean, I agree with Edgeworth. What are the police doing not finding that? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth. Yeah, Gumtree wouldn't have missed a bright red piece of fabric hanging out of a car's exhaust pipe. That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. Wait, did Edgeworth sign that? What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth as a loss for words. Wait, have we received any of those things yet? We haven't, have we? No, we can't have a look at them yet. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah. The court accepts its new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I won't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Hey, look, it's another tutorial on how to deal with evidence. Yeah. There we go. Ooh! Okay. Now I remember more things about this case. But yes, I was expecting there to be blood on that. I mean, I'm guessing the judge doesn't want to get blood all over its gavel. Or, actually more likely, having to pause proceedings while he goes and gets it wrapped up and puts a note in the accident book. Don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the court record. Found at the crime scene, wrapped in the defendant's muffler. Small tag attached. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. While you're messing around, edgy boy, I'm gonna look at this knife some more. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92. What part of it makes this a switchblade? I think it's the part where the blade is hidden until you press the button, although I think switchblades usually open in a different way than that, but I could be wrong. But mostly because it has a switch that makes the blade appear, is I think what makes it a switchblade. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. Yeah, DL6. Yeah. DL6. Maybe it's a case number. That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either. Yeah, the note. Maybe I should check the court record again. Well, I want to look at the blood as well. No, apparently there's nothing to look at there. Yeah. What are these discolorations? Apparently nothing I can look at. I guess that's it then. Right, am I allowed to turn the note around again now? Maybe? No? No, apparently even going, I think I saw this somewhere recently. Apparently I'm still not allowed to mess around with that. I would like to hear an explanation from the Chief of Police himself. Which would be you, I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us? About the split between the prosecutors and the police, and this knife. Sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really. This guy is way too orange. But also like way too upbeat. But also very orange. Why does your skin match your suit, sir? Department in disorder. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Sir, you're gonna have to, I'm sorry. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. Which we do have. So is this where we present the note then? Probably. That was a very bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? Coincidence? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. He dropped a lot of hints there, didn't he? That there was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Urgy. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait, there's another dead detective? I mean, as I said before, I think that Goodman was killed at the police department and then bundled into the back of Edgeworth's car. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Well, except he wasn't. He was killed about, like, half an hour earlier, but... Order! 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 Anyway, we at the department were all a-flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? Yeah. Top secret that you're going to have to tell me about because I'm about to wave a piece of evidence in your face that proves you're going to have to. I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Alright, I'm just going for the hope that I can just throw that note right at this one. And that this isn't too early in proceedings for me to do that. Wait a second. Ah, at last! An honest-to-goodness objection. At last. You were 2 lines in, sir. This knife. This has to be something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Ah, an honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Udgy? This is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL9-2. And this is important. Why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7s 12/2? Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside... The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around, and what do you get? Ah! Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9! That's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. Order! Order! Well, Chief. Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. Alright, I have a new thing that I can now press. So this knife was stolen. Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So, this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. You know, I don't think I wanted to prove that, did I? Weren't we currently working on the technicality that she couldn't have planned to kill the guy because she didn't have a weapon? It was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. Okay, we need something else. Detective was killed. I would like to know about this, ideally. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact! Surprising, isn't it, Angie? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested them, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Yeah, he is way too chill about both of these murders, really. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. I don't like his happy grandpa routine. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing. One thing only. Well, apparently we're not getting a who. So, we already know the when. The where... I mean, the police department, I'm assuming. I feel like the how is the more important part of this one. Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now, that's the interesting part. It was what we in the Force call stabbing with a knife. I think everyone calls that a stabbing, actually. A knife. That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. I feel like he's allowed to withhold information about it because it's not actually our case, except for the part where it actually is our case, because it's definitely related. That's the spirit! We're cooking now! But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. Was the other detective also bundled into someone's car? Seems like I'm going to have to press this a bit harder. Wait, so could I press this again into finding out the other thing? Yeah, one thing and one thing only, except if you ask again. Where was the victim found? So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found. But I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second. I have heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details. So, it's not officially linked to this case. Are we allowed to... Wait, does this say that it's... Doesn't. So I guess just press it. Chief. The defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Ah, you don't say! Well, out with it, righto! What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place, mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention, the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. And I would really like to know why our client swapped the knives. Because she must have done that, right? Pulled the SL9 knife out of the victim's body, shoved it into her muffler and into the car's muffler, and then shoved Edgeworth's knife in. So I guess she did stab Goodman in that case. Just when he was already dead. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Well, that says a lot about the state of the police department, doesn't it? Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try and get what I can out of him. You're so confused on what's going on. We have a dead detective. And we've just learned there's another dead detective. And I'm pretty sure they both got killed in the same place. And might actually be the same person. Which is why I'm about to ask for the victim's ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Except for the fact that you're about to give me Goodman's. And, that's gonna be fun. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Da 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 da. Goodman's ID number. So, how'd the same detective get killed twice? At the same time, in different places. I don't remember that part. Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 822. I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. It was 582 something 189? Nope, 5842 189. Oh, I was so close. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. 5842189. This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning? And I can't even always remember my own phone number well enough. There's like 2 digits that I almost always get flipped the wrong way around if I try and do it off the top of my head. Which is why I have my own number saved on my phone. For every time I have to put it into a thing. There's like a 4 and a 9, I think it is. It's just, I can't remember if it's 49 or 94. To be what I think it is. What does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? Take that! Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just... I got confused. And this is news. Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing like you always do. The police department. Prosecutor's office. 2 places. 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? Judge, Mr. Wright is not a member of the police department. Yeah, that was a sick burn from Hedgie, wasn't it? It's like, yeah, I know you get confused. Carry on. That's your normal state of being, right? No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney. Remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, righto! Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Says the judge, who definitely hasn't remembered the other number that was good. Huh? Oh, wait! ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82... I've forgotten. You didn't even get the first number right! Again! The number the chief of police gave us was 584-2189.
Objection!
Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The two ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, ho, ho, oh, sharp as a tack, righto. Sharp as a tack. But wait. Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Once again, I'm pretty sure he was killed at least half an hour earlier in the police station, but you know. Do the police have a body for their victim? Yes, a detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department. In the evidence room at the exact same time. Unless there's a clock wrong somewhere and Bruce Goodman was killed in the evidence room at 4:15, bundled into the back of Edgeworth's car, and then coincidentally found at 5:15. That's impossible. So what we're saying is the same person was killed at the same time and in a completely different location. Order! 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 Chief, what does this mean? No, what I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait, or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error. Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. You, what? How dare... We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our officer Meekins who brought you the news. Oh, the report that he turned away yesterday. Because he was too busy. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait! Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? Ah, yes, sir. At the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me... He said the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on top of the report. Yeah. Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. Yeah, I agree with Emma. I'm pretty sure that Meekins has less brain cells than Gumshoe. Which is why he's an officer and not a detective. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error. A gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir! You could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then no such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy. His nice grandpa act is cracking. What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law? Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Righto over here. Good job, Righto, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job? No. No! It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. What with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened if it's the last thing I do. You'd better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it is not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. Well, I guess that's brought us another day too. February 23rd, 2:15 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Officers. Mr. Wright, so... Have we ever had a trial that lasted less time than the maximum extension allowed? I think the very first trial, the tutorial one, I think that was less than 3 days. What's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What's going on? Where? What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Yeah, that's the problem. Well, that's what we're going to find out. Or try to, at least. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits. But I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Good. Can you read minds, Emma? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go! Science awaits us! I mean, the clock could have been an hour off sync. Because it could have taken half an hour after the murder happened for Edgeworth to get in his car. Actually, I guess it depends on how quickly everyone knew that. No, because if they thought it was 5:15, then they thought it was 5:15. What I really want to know is there a second body, and is one of these Goodmans a fake? Or his twin? Let's go! Science awaits us! February 23rd. Prosecutor's office. Underground parking lot. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Oh, there we go. There we go. He didn't die twice. That's fine. There aren't two bodies. That's fine. Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing, I know it. That oil drum, was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Also, that's a pretty strong kick if you're able to knock over an oil drum filled to the top with water, because that thing's heavy. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never! Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all! It's just... we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ah, but not the traces we can find with luminol. Please tell me this is the case I get to play with luminol in. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Yeah, luminol time. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Yeah! Let's go, luminol. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look. I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press enter to spray it on, or click. Left click is what I will be doing. Okay, let's find us some bloodstains. Well, for a start, I would like to look over here, please. Ooh, there's some. I can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So, is this a bloodstain? Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, we definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course. Yeah, that's way too little blood for someone who got stabbed. The blood on the knife. Good point. She's already seen the blood on that knife. This is not your first time seeing blood, girl. What's odd about this scientifically? The amount. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna mark up the floor plans when we find a bloodstain, okay? See? I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah. This stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Luminol testing fluid received from one very proud-looking Emma Skye. Solution used for scientific investigation. Finds blood traces. Spray to use. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. Doesn't seem fair. Then let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah. It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. No. I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Star! You only trust your own eyes, Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Lady, I don't think I'm eating a day-old lunchbox with fish in it. That sounds like a bad idea. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. Okay, why are you here? You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Star, but... Oh no, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. Saw what you wanted to say. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. Well, yeah, you saw her stab a man in cold blood. Yes, technically, given his blood was already cold at the time. Did Lana cut her own hand on purpose? For there to actually be blood there? Or did she cut her hand on the SL9 knife as she pulled it out and not on Edgeworth's knife? No, because we know her blood is on Edgeworth's knife. I still don't know why she's done what she did. Unless she was trying to take the fall instead of Edgeworth, maybe. That's like the only thing I can think of. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Star? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up. They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long, they called me The cough-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go. Fired? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case. The SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... If I can't talk, I guess I have to present. What do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case. The murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected. SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? If she's not actually popping up the goods now, I guess we present the notes as well. No. Why is that option not coming up? Or do I need to present something else? Eh. I'm gonna have a bit more of a look around. Wait, can I... Yes. Luminol, 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 luminol. Distinct lack of bloodstains on the car. Oop, there we go. Blood on the phone, which is probably Lana's. This blood must be from when Lana... My sister isn't the murderer! But she did call you, didn't she? The time of the crime? And her right hand is bandaged. Just whose side are you on? This has nothing to do with taking sides. So, this means that Lana's hand had blood on it. This just keeps getting worse. Is there blood on the door? No. On this? On that? Eee. Luminol! Interesting that I can't actually spray it here. So it just sprays over there instead. Alright, there probably isn't anything more to luminol. What do we need to get her to tell us more about DL6 anyway? Goodman's ID? I had one of those up until 2 years ago. you were the cop-up queen, right? We found this ID card here in this parking lot. Well, there's no mistaking that. It's definitely Goodman's. But it's the same ID as the man who was killed at the police department. Well, yeah, because as I said, that's impossible. I wish I could be so sure. Can I talk to her about... No? Goodman's ID, no. King of Prosecutor's Trophy, no. Not the knife. Not the parking stub or the blue badger. The autopsy reports. Pepper note. Parking lot floor plans. Which now has 2 notes about blood. Something did come up about the photo earlier, right? If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. But even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime. Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. A hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, mister. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before. And I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? Are you able to talk to me about things now? Hooray! That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? To who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So they didn't solve it? On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence, of a sort. Made up evidence. Well, that doesn't seem fair. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen. Others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Yeah, but he's a detective again now. Right? Oops. I meant Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. Oh yeah, because he's not a detective anymore. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then it was over, and he was demoted. You just implied he got sacked like you, girl. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case. A hidden side. That's what we're after now. No one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Oh, wait! Those lunches you sell! There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends. Boyfriends who can help me investigate. The Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, rookie? What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes? Then you should take this. Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Steak lunch retrieved from the Star. Excellent for putting Officer Marshall in a good mood, apparently. Miss Star? Officer Marshall, is he, are you his... Are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now, so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall, huh? Well, I guess we'd better get him his lunch before it, cools down too much. Or is it already cold? I don't know how this works. Where can we go? We can go to the detention centre, we can go to the High Prosecutor's office. Or we can go to the police department. I feel like the police department is the most useful place, plus we apparently have a way to bribe ourselves in. February 29th. Police department entrance. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. And I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here, after all. So, the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. She's like a kid at an amusement park. Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. Well, I mean, actually, before that, there's one thing I want to do. There's one thing I would like to do, Emma. And that's to use your luminol on the very suspicious marks on Mr. Blue Badger here. No? Oh man, I thought it looked like he had blood on him. Well, I guess I was wrong. That looks like blood, though. There's like a tiny little spot that looks kind of red. Oh well. Maybe I'm not allowed to spray luminol on the blue badger at the moment. The criminal affairs, because the evidence room is just off of criminal affairs, as I recall. February 23rd, Police Department, Criminal Affairs Department. No, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department, indeed. Wow, everyone looks deadly serious here. Well, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department. Yes, but he was the same detective that was also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot. It makes my head hurt. Well, first things first. Let's go check out the police department crime scene. Yes, you sound dead set on investigating. Emma, I don't think puns are your job. But don't mess up, or we could wind up dead. I doubt anyone wants more mysteries or dead bodies around here right now. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to help us much either. Okay, maybe we were supposed to go via the via that guard station then instead. Oh well, I'm gonna look around here. These are the detectives' desks. There are computers and files on each one. Funny, they're a lot tidier than I'd expect. I guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. Maybe they need to spend more time at their desks. Blue Badger. So this is the police mascot, is it? The Blue Badger, the future star of the police force. The design's a little changed from the one outside. Ah, well, Dancing Blue Badger, TM, is still under development, you see. You have it trademarked? Absolutely. It's cutting-edge stuff. Very now. I showed this doll here to my daughter and she burst into tears. Don't show her the moving mock-up outside then, you'll give her nightmares. Can't look at the clock, huh? That must be the chief of detectives. He is glued to his computer screen. What? Detective killed in the evidence room? Tell no one outside the police department? No, I told that old lady at the restaurant everything. Someone's getting a demotion. Anyway, I guess we need to go back to the entrance and then go to the guard station then. Ah, Officer Marshall, are you allowed to have that much alcohol here? Because that's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bottles of alcohol. That doesn't seem like it should be allowed. Also, why is there a trap? Why is there a lasso trap? February 23rd, evidence room entrance, guard station. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. According to the pamphlets, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So, beyond that door is the evidence room. The scene of the crime? It sure seems that way. Oh. What's wrong? It's all those cacti! They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, if this is a guard station, where is the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Yeah, I think it's relatively obvious who he is already, and does he literally live here? He seems to have a change of clothes. Apparently I'm not allowed to look at the alcohol. Apparently I'm not allowed to look at the alcohol at all. Okay, what does this say? Does it say closed? This swinging door makes the place look like some kind of saloon. Look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch. I'd say it'd be more of a yeah myself. Can't look at the little cactus. Yipes! These sure are prickly. They must be the real deal. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. What, tall and prickly? How so? Encased in a cold, rigid shell with spines pointing in every direction? Just like her. I'm not so sure I see the resemblance. It's more an attitude thing than a physical similarity. That is a lot of cacti. There's a security guard uniform hanging here. No, I really doubt that's the security guard uniform, Emma. Unless this police department is real eccentric, like. It looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly. A leather jacket, leather pants, a leather... What is that called again? I'm guessing that you mean the poncho? A punchy, a paunchy, a pinchy, I know, a poochie. Nope, none of those are correct. None of those are correct. Wait, maybe that wasn't it. It's a poncho, but I think I'll keep that information to myself for the time being. Because it's more entertaining to do that. It looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here. Hey, wait a second. So there is security cameras in the evidence room? Why wasn't there video of us being tased then? There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of there. Yeah, I bet we could. The evidence room is beyond that door. Just walk in. You're gonna stand in the lasso, are you? It won't open. You thought it'd be open. I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. Maybe we can attract his attention by stepping in the lasso. Look on the floor, a lasso! Looks like it's set up to trap something. A trap here? Wait, I know! Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here. But the lasso missed. No, I don't think so. You sure have an active imagination. Well, apparently we can't attract him that way. And I'm not allowed to mess with his booze. So I guess we're gonna have to come back later. Because there's no one here. Hello, Nick. How you doing? February 23rd, Police Department entrance. This place is charged with forensic energy as always. Please! No, please! It's probably Gumshoe, right? Oh. Or Marshall. Huh? Wasn't that? One steak lunch, please! Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for... No, that's Marshall. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. Because we need that to bribe Marshall. Oh dear, it is definitely no fun having the heater break at this time of the year. I'm immensely glad that my electric shower broke during summer. So I wasn't absolutely freezing. Was it summer or was it spring? Can't remember how long ago it was now. But it wasn't winter, thank goodness. Anyway. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now's no time for despair. We caught our criminal. Now we just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... You heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? And the perpetrator, do you have a suspect? Well, it was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. It's the biggest scandal day at the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Standing around here talking isn't gonna fill my belly. Wait, don't leave! Do you want to know more? Head on down to the detention centre, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Did they arrest Marshall for it? Later. Is that why Marshall's not at his job? He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. Also, I think Detective Gumshoe is about to get his leg caught in a noose. Well, right into law offices, I guess. And then to the detention centre. February 23rd, detention centre visitors room. Still, I do feel better about things, a little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best to not go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing. Feedback. What was that? I'm going to assume that this is Marshall. Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? No, it's Meekins. It's Meekins. Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was perpetrated against, sir. That's what I'd say. His hand's all bandaged up too, huh? Hi. Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I got your report, sir. Officer Meekins. So you're a guard here at the detention centre? No, sir. I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman. Like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report. No, sir. How should I say this? Wait, he isn't. Is he? You, Officer Meekins, you didn't... Did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. What? Now, this is an unexpected turn of events. Sir, I'm a patrolman with general affairs, sir. Sir! Now, I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. You don't need the megaphone. I had some business that day, sir, and so I went in the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So, normally there's a guard at the evidence room? That's right, sir, because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Yes. I'm sure you're right that evidence is kept in the evidence room. Now, the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir. A suspicious person. Yeah. What the heck is this guy doing? So, what happened then? After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. Red, white and black, huh? And when I came to, I was here, in the detention centre. How long were you out? Days? Might I ask, what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand. Just like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first, tell us how you hurt your hand? Well, actually, I want to work my way down, but hey. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir! Yeah, the bandaging does appear a little excessive. I don't think Officer Meekins passed his first aid course very well. He must have done it, because I assume that you have to do it to fit his job, probably. But it seems like he didn't retain very much of that information. I mean, equally, it's probably very hard to bandage one of your own hands. If you have to label me as a perpetrator or a victim, sir, then label me victim. I would, but you happen to be in detention, and alive and well at that. Yes, well, it's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So, you didn't know him? Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light or other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives. So, if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir. None. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. At least someone around here is more confused than I am. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? But sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, sir. The detective pointed a knife at you, did he? And the next thing I know, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were... Huh? Then, when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir. All alone. I thought you said you woke up here, Meekins. I thought... Like 5 minutes ago. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. What? And when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hands, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared. That's some story. Isn't it? I need some more water. So I will be right back. we've asked him all of those things. So I guess that we can go back to, we'll go criminal affairs. Then the entrance. And then back to the guard station where we might see a certain someone. No? Huh. I thought Gumshoe was headed through here, but maybe not. Okay. Right. Well, let's go to the other place we haven't been yet then. Edgy's office. February 23rd. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Well, this place is as classy today as it was yesterday. And I'm sure it'll still be just as classy tomorrow, Emma. Incidentally, Edgeworth's not here. I'm sure he's off doing important investigations. I hope that's what he's doing. I guess we'll have to come back. Well, he's not here. And nothing appears to have changed in this room since the last time we were here. Do we have anything else to talk to you about? Nope. I guess there's something else we needed to do with Meekins. Like show him something? Oh, what if we show him the knife and go, is this the knife? Officer Meekins, this is for you. Scared of knives, sir? It's okay, I just wanted you to take a look at it. Oh, last night, sir. That's the one. I was an apple, sir, in my dream, and I was being peeled. On second thought, you don't have to look at the knife. He's overreacting to the knife. But I guess he's been through a lot. What else? Was this the detective that you saw? Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey! I see, sir! I see! That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment. But now, sir, now I remember. I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card! That card was the cause of it all! How are the cards stationed around not annoyed at the megaphone sound? Good question. Maybe they wear good hearing protection or something. This ID card? Exactly, sir. That's exactly it. Nothing could be more exact, sir. Nothing. I'd better pry into this one a little more deep. No, a little deeper. Crime details. Can you tell me what it is that you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a lost little patrolman. A lost little lamb, if you will. Yeah, you said that already. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So, you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card, and what did he do? That's the thing! Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. What? Sir, I assure you, I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and I leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him. Do unto others before they do unto you. My own father's words, sir. What, stab him before I can stab you? What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir. Everything went white. And when I awoke, I was here. Which isn't what you said earlier. You said you woke up in the evidence room and no one was there. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it that they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman. And the victim whom he met at the scene of the crime didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. Yeah? If you don't see the body, you gotta assume that maybe they're not actually dead. Or is that just anime? That's it, sir. That's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? And they told me it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time, Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. Well, yeah, it's a keycard operated door, right? Which will log whoever goes in and out. Right? Or are they just going on appearances? But you don't remember the events clearly? No, but the videotape was quite clear. Huh? Videotape? Alright, see you later, card. From the security camera. A crime, my crime, a crime I swore to stamp out. It's there, it's me, it's on tape. And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No thanks, I have my own. Well, I guess we better go check out the crime scene. Alright, maybe we'll actually be able to get in there now. Ooh. February 23rd, Police Station Criminal Affairs Department. Hey, Mr. Wright! Look who's standing at the Chief of Detectives' desk! It's Police Chief Gant. And you're sure this is all, hmm? You know what it means if there is anything missing. Sir, I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his drawers, lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats, under a seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, You call me right away, deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir. Whose stuff are they looking at for someone who has a personal coffee maker? Does Goodman have his own coffee maker? Does Meekins have his own coffee maker? Does someone else have their own coffee maker? The chief of detectives looks a little flustered. Ah, righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much? Oh, Chief Gant, reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? Yeah, why am I? Is Edgeworth going to be okay? Oh, Worthy! Oh, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yep, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident on Gord Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right? Righto! Von Karma. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. And yet, not only did we defeat him, we also proved that he murdered one person himself and was involved in conspiracy to murder another person. But in court, you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they'd do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? It's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their own turf, too. I mean... they're being the prosecutors, I assume. Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that someone can't be stabbed in 2 places at the same time. 2 locations, that is, not 2 places on his own body. He can definitely be stabbed in... What evidence is this? I see this on a piece of paper called evidence. Yeah. Now, righto! Can't give away all of our secrets just like that. And this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive. I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets, can't stand them. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives structure. Yeah, he did say he'd blabbed to a lady down at the supermarket, right? Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier? Ah, you saw that? Whoops. I wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. him or the chief of detectives? Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? That's not sneaky. That's just you asking him. Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. Ah, Goodman. Why does Goodman have a personal coffee maker? They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So, nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not. Well, except for this. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? Was it his ID? The date on it is February 21st. Let's make a note of that just in case. Goodman's lost item report added to the court record. A half-written document dated 2nd 21st can only be submitted to the chief of police. We should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. It looks like he messed up his ID number as well. So that says 5 and then a 9. That's then crossed out. Well, I will see you around, Chief Gant. There's still no one here. You know, if someone stabbed someone in there, maybe there's blood evidence somewhere in this room. No? No? Oop. Ooh! Spiky cactus. I don't think that's relevant to the murder, is it? That's relevant to the cactus being spiky. Wow, we got a reaction! There's clearly blood around the spines here. This room's pretty messy. Someone must have tripped over something and planted their head right in these spines. Why their head and not a hand? Phoenix. I think that might be more painful than being murdered. Well, there's nothing here. I'm gonna look at the guide. Alright. I need to go talk to Gant again. Ah, there we go. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favour. Well, I never thought the day would come when Wright asked me for help. I was wondering if we can investigate the evidence room? Now, righto. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't need to investigate after all. Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Maybe? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, "Sir, can I borrow $50?" I'd give them $50 no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. It just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you, here, you can borrow this. Is that Goodman's ID? Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. It says Bruce Goodman on it. It's blurred, but I can tell. It says Sergeant Bruce Goodman. Yes, sir. It's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. Guests in the evidence room? Maybe it's used. Maybe prosecutors use it. It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy? Yes, sir. Because, sir, we have to get into the we get to go in the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Also, last time we went in the evidence room... actually, wait. Was it the evidence room that we got tased in? Or was it older records? It might have been an older records room that we got tased in. Where is Marshall anyway? The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. The card reader is turned off, see? What is the security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, well, what's made my Bambina's sky so grey? Ah, now he's here. Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? What's that why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what you standing here for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's a-waiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions? Like, can we see the video from the time of the crime? Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy, then. Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. I was wondering if we could talk to you? Sorry, Bambina, but I'm off to roam the lands like a tumbleweed on the wild prairie. Like a gunslinger loading his 6-shooter, I say a little prayer. He's hungry. Oh yes, we were supposed to feed him. What was that all about, Mr. Wright? I think he was just too hungry to talk. He was saying that because his stomach was growling. You have no idea what he was talking about either. Well, in any case, we need to get cracking on this investigation pronto. Yep, I'd almost forgotten that we were supposed to bribe you. That smell. Reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? Nope, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Star. Well, what's this? What? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Does she encode secret messages into his lunch? Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask me anything. Finally, it seems like. He's willing to talk. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. That poor little doggy. Poor guy, I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station? Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know. Well, I mean, I figure I can tell that by the number of bottles around here. So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. You went for a drive. Got it. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. No, Emma, he didn't say it was a horse. It was probably a car or a motorbike. Or a bicycle. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? Can a horse even go 50 to 60 miles per hour? That's a really good question. Even if they could, I don't think it would be for very long, right? Apparently the maximum speed of a horse is 71 kilometers an hour, which I think is less than that. Thoroughbred racehorses can run almost 44 miles per hour over a short distance. An average 38. So no, a horse cannot go 50 to 60 miles per hour. Except on a maybe in a very, very short period of time. I don't take to machines much. Yeah, with your Wild West thing, you probably wouldn't. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know. Yeah, I don't think horses could legally go on motorways, right? On the same way that you can't legally take a tractor on a motorway. Or like anything else like that. Moustache told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. Except for the fact that you got to examine this crime scene. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case. That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too. I'm guessing it means moving them from this evidence room to the other evidence archive room that we've been in before, right? I know what, maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. Got it, so he doesn't like cauliflower or broccoli. I understood. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman? Are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. If nothing happens, they're erased after a couple of hours? Automatically? I would not want to let a computer decide that one. Also, you should really keep those for longer than that. Surely. You're the security guard, and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Thus, the card reader by the door. Card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record. 5842189. That is Goodman's ID. Who's the lucky guy with all 7s? Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina. I can't show you more than that. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Well, we'll do that after we've talked to him about transferal. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. Oh, is it because we went in the unsolved one? No. Yeah, I guess we must have gone in the unsolved cases evidence area. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. That happened to SL9 2 days ago. Yeah, there must be a lot of evidence in that vault, right? Okay. Goodman's ID. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look, the 4th number. It's a perfect match. So... how was Goodman's ID used to enter the evidence room at approximately the same time that he was being murdered half an hour away? It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world. So, when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. Wait, what did Officer Meekins say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So, you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly, he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Because his face didn't match. His face didn't match the ID card. And Officer Meekins would have noticed that, even if he is Officer Meekins. Surely this Goodman in the evidence room is not the real Goodman, and dressed up as him and to sneak into the evidence room to obtain that knife for some reason. And then obviously must have gone by the prosecutor's office to dump the wallet on the floor so it would be found in the right place. Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. ID card record added to the court record. IDs of all who entered the evidence room on the 21st of February. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Like Gumshoe. What if we show it back to this guy? Sheriffs back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. About the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is neither Wild nor West here. But this and that are two different things entirely. I guess so? I'm lost. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Okay, so we can't really show him that. Anyway. Evidence room, we can go in now. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. Hey! It's the metal detector and the fishing rod. The things we got to borrow. So this is the evidence room? It really is kind of like a graveyard. Less like a graveyard and more like a morgue, Emma. With all those little lockers. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Me and Mr. Wright, same wavelength. Same wavelength. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Whoa! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So is it true what I heard? Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asked me, "Sir, can I borrow $50?" I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So, chief of police Gan will loan anyone $50? Even me? Poor Gumshoe. Poor Gumshoe. I feel like you're better off asking him for a raise, Gumshoe. Oh, so that's what you were talking about? Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day? But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plans. Scene of the stabbing of a detective at the PD. Alright, let's have a look at those then. Four sets of lockers. And absolutely nothing else drawn on it. Understood. So, Detective Gumshoe, your boss for the day? That's right, it's an honour. After all, the murder took place right here, in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. Oh, he wants it to go under his name. Oh yeah, I'm guessing each of these lockers must be for a detective then, rather than for a case. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Ah, of course! I am a detective after all. They gave me a locker only I can open, pal. So you need the ID card to get in the locker as well then. You need just a second. If you need your ID card to get into the locker that has the evidence from the cases that you worked on, how did Goodman get at the stuff that would have been in Marshall's locker for SL9? That's what I want to know. Only you can open? This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so only one detective can open it, using their ID card. Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be locked. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Oh. So you need a fingerprint. Shouldn't that mean that the Detective Goodman who was in the evidence room must have been Marshall, right? If it was, then he's being awfully helpful. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. A lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. I feel like fingerprints aren't always great for it. Because, like, you can hurt your finger and it's... I guess it depends how high-tech the fingerprint sensors are. Like, we had one at high school for taking things out of the library. And it did not like my fingerprint most of the time. Heck, my own phone sometimes doesn't like my fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. There's a couple of lockers open here, I see. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor. And if the wrong person touches it, zip, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. Yeah, I can imagine that would make it really slow to do the processing if you had to use your fingerprint for ordering at the canteen. Because the number of times you sometimes have to put your finger on the things to make it work. Just swiping a card would be so much easier, wouldn't it? In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force who don't know about the fingerprint locks. Okay, evidence locker added to the court record. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Okay, Edgeworth. I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. Well, I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. Oh, this is the case that the prepared evidence came from, huh? That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. Well, first I want to know what Gumshoe's ID card is. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumours. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? What? ID card record updated in the court record. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? So Edgeworth came in at 4:40. Okay. I'm assuming that this one down here must be Meakin's. Right. Let's try and use the knife to ask him about SL9 then. Detective Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I'll bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know? 2 years ago. His first big case and the beginning of the end, huh? That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Will you talk to me about it now? Good. Now that was a bloody violent case. Violent? So it was a murder. A serial killing. A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago. That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started the rumour mill. Rumours about forged evidence. It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? Oh, I thought Marshall said it was him. Okay, then, maybe not then. So, that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Interesting. Right, so I want to look around. What is... I was about to say, what's this? And then I turned my head and it's like, ah, it's a car door. It's a car door with a pair of cuffs attached to it. Oh, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Alright. Something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I'll bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. Guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. I'm sorry, Gumshoe. This place is stuffed with evidence. Stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. It won't open! Did you really think it would? Hey pal, our security is high-tech around here. Okay, so that goes for all of those. Oh, it looks like there's maybe a third gadget. Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry-looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal, that's that metal detector. The one that led to the solving of that case out on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like it was ages ago. And, I don't think I've seen this one before. It looks like some kind of electronic dowsing rod. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. Ah, a bug sweeper. I'm sure it'll come in handy solving some case sooner or later. That cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. You gotta look at their art. Okay, the door. That's the door we just came in through. Looks like you don't need an ID card to get out. I wonder what would happen if Officer Marshall cut the power while we were inside. Let's hope he remembers we're in here. Anyway, the more interesting looking area. Blood. What's this? Blood? It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use her testing fluid to check it out. Luminol, luminol, playing with the luminol. Ooh, that's a lot of blood over there. I knew it! This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, Detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours? Please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on those floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. Gumshoe, you're the police. And that means we can't trust you. What? But you're a detective. Alright, let's luminol this one. 2. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. Yeah, I was right. He was killed here. And then moved. Because there wasn't nearly enough blood at the prosecutor's office for someone to have actually died. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien. This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. I think that might be all of the luminol reactions we're getting. Why is there an open can of paint here? What is the Soren paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Did he make the dancing blue badger here in the evidence room? Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the blue badger. Once again, I would like to know about the handprint on the blue badger. And this little speck that looks like it might be blood. And this scuff. And this bandaged foot. Well, you might say that this is my studio. Here, in the evidence room. Hey, Gumshoe. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to paint things in a well-ventilated area. And I'm not so sure that the evidence room is a well-ventilated area. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from The Case. The Case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of them pieces here? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I would like to take a closer look. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Yeah, good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Well, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Are we allowed to glue this back together again? Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Ah, archaeology! I wanted to zoom. Okay. Alright, we've got rotate left, rotate right. That's the pieces. Okay. 1, 2, and the little one. I don't think it's that one. I don't think it's that one either. There's a lot of blood on this thing. Alright, so it doesn't go in if it's not. Right, these two are at the top, clearly. This could go in there, maybe. Nope. None of these looks quite right for the... This is also at the top. Okay, this is on the side because it's a handle. We're looking at an amphora, incidentally. That way around? No? None of these pieces look like they go on that bit. Nope. Maybe this one? No? Okay, there we go. Right. Okay, now I think we want... Is it the piece with the handle? No. Probably this bit. Now that I've got the first piece, it's easier. Are we putting the handle in now? I don't think so. This one? It's definitely that way up, I think. This way up, I think. Okay. I thought it was going to be that one, but maybe not. So this one then. Now it wants me to put something up there, huh? This one then. So it's lost some of its handle on this side. Nope, wrong. Wrong button again. That way around. And then this one. And then we're still missing a bit. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jar. Jar pieced together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Well, technically 2 pieces because it's this chunk and the handle on the other side, but... Okay, we've done that. What about this glove? Someone left a glove here, but only one. Oh, it's SL9 evidence. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Rubber glove added to the court record. Tagged evidence from the SL9 incident. Extremely thin rubber glove. Okay, what's at number 2? If you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are 2 things that bother me. 1, why are some of the pieces missing? 2, doesn't it seem a little unstable? Are those the only things that bother you? I'm bothered by the fact it's covered in blood. No wonder it broke. I'll make sure to remember that the next time I make a jar. Open locker. Probably Goodman's. Look, this one's open! And the red indicator light above the door is lit. I'll take your word for it that that's red. It kind of looks orange to me. That locker is coded with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker. Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it would be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else there. I'm just going to luminol this side as well, just in case. Alright, no bloodstains on this side. Talk? No. Right, so what have we got now? Look at the floor plan. So there was a luminol reaction here and there. We've got this jar, which I want to take a look at the bloodstains on. Hey look! They're hard to make out. Not really. But there are some dark red stains here. Yes, dark red. Definitely dark. And not red. It looks like blood. Do you think Detective Goodman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed? Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. Maybe 2 years, given this is evidence from SL9. Hello again, Shema. How are you doing? This jar was evidence in the SL9 incident. That might be when the blood got on it. Ooh. It's not even a very good jar, look at it! Huh? This thing doesn't have a bottom! That's weird. I wonder what side is up? Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? I guess it's just there to look pretty then. At least it doesn't collect dust inside, right? I'm not sure that'll stop it, but... I'm pretty sure there's a lot of surfaces that could get dusty on the inside of here anyway. Actually, the piece missing here also has a handle. Looking at the position of the other 2 handles. Wiggle the evidence. Okay, I've wiggled the evidence enough. Let's wiggle on a different piece of evidence instead. The tag says SL911. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case. You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing. Huh? What's so confusing about that? Do you know how many other words sound like it? Bag, nag... Sorry, bag, gag, nag, lag... Zag? Zag. Is that a word? I mean, not the way she spelt it, but... And I guess you'd say zag for that, I'm not sure. Do you challenge me? What, are we playing a word game now? Ah, there's nothing interesting on the other side of the evidence. Sad times. With all the evidence. Okay. Any word that ends in ag sounds like any other word that ends in ag. Yeah. Can we present any of these things to him again, like the draft? Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I'll say nothing. Nothing. That's fine? You bet it's fine, pal. Can you ask me about this? Nope, okay. Maybe we have found everything in here right now. Maybe we go... What did we learn from being in here? Why was Edgeworth here? That's the thing we need to know. Edgeworth, apparently not. Maybe I still need to do something with Gumshoe then. Unless there's somewhere else. The detention centre. Nope, nothing new here. Criminal affairs. Gant's gone. Let me spray the blue badger. There's not another thing to talk. What am I missing? According to the guide I just had a quick look at, what I'm missing is some blood. I thought I'd luminol sprayed everything in this room, but apparently not. I was sure I'd sprayed this. And yeah, there's nothing on it. I must have misunderstood that. There's something that I still need to cover in luminol, apparently. Like every pixel. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the guide says that. Ah! It wasn't actually the, that bit, it was here. It was on the locker itself. Why are we getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out of the door. I mean, this could be Meekin's bloody handprint. After all, his left hand was cut, right? This just might be something significant. Hey! That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm gonna go give them my report for the day. That doesn't look like a report, that looks like a flyer for a restaurant. It might help, you know? A report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say too. Actually, there is one thing that we forgot that we needed to do. Sorry, that I forgot that I needed to do. And that was I need to go see Meekins again. Because I need to know which of these ID numbers is his or anything else he recognizes. Officer Meekins, could you take a look at this? I'm sorry, sir. Really sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth, sir. He's passing the buck, Mr. Wright. It takes a special kind of man to pass the buck to Edgeworth. Alright, apparently we're going to go see Edgeworth. February 23rd, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. What are you doing here? Ah, guests. My apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Edgeworth, you've got your whole entire tea set up here. Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the District Prosecutor's Office inquiry? I am. And by the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. You just... Edgeworth's just like, the information on the flyer, on the front of the flyer is a lot more interesting than the notes on the back. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. Actually, before we talk to him about anything else, Edgeworth, explain, please. Oh, right. I'd better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage. Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. I knew that guy was suspicious. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. Is that the screwdriver from the hotel case? The one that was jammed into the desk drawer? But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. Screwdriver. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's. Brought back to his office by Gant's request. It does rather look like the one that was jammed in that drawer at the hotel. Unrelated evidence, yes. It did call that, didn't it? Didn't it? Unrelated evidence screwdriver. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. Anyway, now let's actually talk to the guy. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes. Apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. Actually, I think it was Lana who concealed the evidence, but you know. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened? They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you, why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Is there anything else we should show Edgeworth? Hey Edgeworth, will you talk to me about SL9? I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in? You were the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. You must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the Deputy Chief of Police at the time, Damon Gant. Oh, so he got promoted since, did he? That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then? Wacky old coot, huh? I do feel like he's putting on the wacky old coot act, though. Alright, see ya, Drag. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. And I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a Deputy Chief of Police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't... Of course not, I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do everything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the Chief Prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid, hmm? Well then, you might have a use for this. Is that a fingerprinting kit? Aluminium powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth is just like, I trust you guys to do this investigation better than I trust the police. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving those to Detective Gumshoe as well? Recovers fingerprints from handprints for comparison with fingerprint file. Cool. I guess we're going back to the evidence locker. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Oh, or are we using it on the Blue Badger? Maybe we're using it on the Blue Badger. Police department entrance. Examine court record. Fingerprinting set. No? Apparently I don't have a button for using it there. What? The blue badger is still writhing around today. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's dancing. Speaking of dancing, the whole police department has been dancing around like crazy since yesterday. Can I take out his batteries? I just can't help but feel he's going to do something naughty. Like what? Well, apparently we're not fingerprinting the blue badger. Let's fingerprint the bloodstains. February 23rd, Evidence Room, Sector 3. Her investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. Well, it's going to have to be this one. It's the best finger imprint that we've got. Because this is the side of a thumb. And these are kind of not so great. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Really, Phoenix? Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Here. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Wait! How are we supposed to do the fingerprinting thing? On here? I seem to remember on the DS you had to blow into the microphone to blow the powder away. How are we doing that? First, we sprinkle the aluminium powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With enter, see? Ah, it looks like that did the trick. The aluminium powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With E. Exciting, I know. Okay, with E then. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, that looks like fun. It might take some getting used to, though. It's fine, it won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. E for exhale, indeed. I guess I'd better give it a try. Okay, so I don't know where this print is supposed to be. You did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. Well, I guess whoever left this one was wearing gloves then. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely, there's a smudge. It seems there are fingerprints outside of the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. Like this smudge here. And that's a fingerprint. Let's make it a little bit clearer. No, no, no! I accidentally pressed back. Give me a sec. Gotta do that again. There we go. Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet. This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth and point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? Because everyone has different fingerprints. Mr. Wright, we just need to find the one that looks like this one. I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprints and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with that case. So, whose fingerprints would be most likely found on this evidence locker? Oh, it would be Gumshoe's because it's his locker. Yep, that looks like Gumshoe's prints to me. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Yeah, let's. Do we do this by grabbing this again? No? Okay. Here. This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right! There was a handprint here. Okay, want to try using this? There go her eyes sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh! But I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Well, that's the bloody hand. I'm not sure I see any more scuffs on this one. much did you miss with fingerprinting? Other than the ones... So I can't actually choose the blood ones. I can't see a scuff other than that. Oh wait, no. Thumb, finger, finger. Maybe up here? No? Yes, there we go. Where the next finger would be that didn't have blood on it. Looks like we need a little bit more dust. Not enough? Okay, keep going. I'll lay it on thick. There we go. Damon Gant. It does look a little bit like his, doesn't it? Just slightly rotated. Let's just check everyone else. Okay, it's not Meekins' fingerprint. Ah. Okay. It's rotated the same way as Marshall's. So it might be Marshall's. So, you know, I expected it to belong to Meekins. What's Marshall doing leaving bloody handprints around? Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? The guy who's watching us via the surveillance camera? Like, right now? Marshall's fingerprints added to the court record. Found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. The print had been wiped. Well, he might not actually be watching us, that's true. He might be boozing it up in that. But he could be watching us find his fingerprints, and that would be dangerous for us. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. I mean, I feel like him and Ms. Starr are involved in the crime, but sure. Emma? This is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh! Oh! So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped bloodstain. But why would Officer Marshall... It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I still want to luminol the blue badger and test for fingerprints on it. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. Guess I'm not gonna get to mess with the blue badger at this point then, huh? Save. I don't want to test fingerprints on the blue badger. But there's a straight up handprint on it. I just want to test the handprint. I also want to poke around at the bloodstain, because there's clearly a bloodstain on the blue badger. Right. I think that it might be best if we go into the second court day fresh next time. So I think I'm going to call it here slightly early. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. It's been fun. We got to investigate. Got to play with fingerprinting and luminol. Yes. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked in the description box below. Maybe the badger will come up later. I know the badger will come up later. If there's one thing I remember about this case, it's that the badger will turn up later. Sakura Wars or the game from the poll I did tomorrow? Possibly neither. Possibly neither. There will be a stream tomorrow, 7 p.m, and the schedule will go up later tonight. I just need to check a few things. That schedule will go up both on social media and over here on YouTube in the community tab. But yes, next stream tomorrow, Monday, 7 p.m. I have an idea, but I need to sort something out first to do that. So yes, hope to see you then or another time. Once again, thank you for watching, and this is Kalla signing out. See ya, bye bye.